Hello, namaskar. All right, welcome to the session. And my name is Arjun Casey, and I am the Executive Director of Brand Management at Gurkha Technology. I help businesses make the most of technology, and then I help them do marketing, and then I also help my own company, Gurkha Technology, to make the best of what there is. So today, in this session, we'll be discussing about the future of digital marketing. And for that, I've prepared a few slides, and I would also really appreciate if you could share it or mention in the comments what you think. So this is going to be mostly in English because the AI isn't that smart enough to actually understand Nepali so far, so it won't be able to create much subtitles. So that's why I'll be doing this in English as much as I can. But then if you have a special request, then I can also talk in Nepali, obviously. All right, so let's begin today's session. And this is the future of digital marketing. All right, so since the COVID pandemic hit and then the work actually got shifted to home, and then everybody had to start using their computers, and then they start to work remotely. So a lot of things kind of shifted towards the digital realm. And then this actually has led to companies being really interested in digital marketing as well, because as you must have noticed, companies that didn't have an electronic storefront, or they didn't have online stores, they couldn't actually do anything, and they had to basically shut down. And that's what's driving a lot of things these days. So one thing that we might notice coming in the coming days as well is remote work. And then another thing that you will notice in the coming days for the future of digital marketing is that people or companies will start to target Gen Z. So Gen Z are those people that are born between after 1950s, I guess, is it? So can you let me know in the comments what do you think Gen Z is? Or we can in fact Google it, right? So this is also going to be another trend that's going to be really useful, and companies can make the best out of it. That is being on the top of search engine results, right? So if you look for Gen Z right now, then you can see it's between 1990s to early 2010s, right? So these people, those Gen Z people, they'll be the ones who will be buying stuff, right? So they will be the one that have the money. So companies will start targeting them. Companies will want to make sure that their brand is represented properly when it comes to Gen Z people, because those people will be making the purchase decisions, right? So that's what's going to happen, and the Gen Z will reach their maturity, so to speak, in terms of financial maturity. So they'll be making most of the buying decisions. So companies will be trying to target them, trying to find new ways to engage this audience, and then that is what's going to be trending in the coming years. Yeah, so that's Gen Z or Generation Z, right? So those people that are born between 1990s to 2010. So they'll be the CEOs of companies, they'll be MDs, right? So as a business, you would want to make sure that your brand is represented in a proper way, the way you want it among these people. So yeah, that's what's going to be trending in the future of digital marketing. Another thing that we might actually notice is a global perspective, right? So when I say global perspective, I mean that in a way, companies will start to think out of their localities, right? So previously we used to have companies that actually just try to sell in the neighborhood, or at least around the valley, or when we're talking about Kathmandu, around the valley, or at least inside the country, right? But then digital marketing or even internet allows us to go beyond all of this. We can actually be global companies, and in fact different other companies such as logistics management or delivery partners will allow different companies to actually venture out and then go beyond their geographical reach. So in a way, brands will have an extensive reach around the world, and then they will of course leverage digital marketing to make sure that their brand is represented properly and their brand reaches the far outreach of the globe, right? So that is what's going to happen. Companies will start to have a global perspective. they will try to market their stuff or their products to other countries that are beyond their geographical boundaries. So that is something that you might really see coming in the coming days and also coming years. So companies will start to think global, but then of course they'll have to act local. But then also we can actually just reverse this, and then we can say act global and think local, is it? So that is the point. So the idea is that companies will start to think beyond their geographical boundaries. And then something that we will notice, and in fact, we're already noticing these days even, is multi-channel marketing. So multi-channel marketing is where you represent your company throughout the different medias that are available, different outlets that are available, so that your company or your voice is heard everywhere, right? So there are many channels out there, people are distributed, the audience is segmented around different channels. So you would want to make sure that your brand is represented in most of the channels that are possible, or at least channels that make sense to your audience. So wherever your audience is, you would want to be there. And it's not just about making sales right off the bat, right? So you would want to make sure that you nurture your leads. You would want to make sure that it's easy to access you, right? So whatever your audience feels comfortable with, you would want to make sure that your brand is available there. So that's one thing that's going to happen, is people will start to make sure that they are available in different channels that their audience is available in. And obviously, search engines are going to be rather important. They already are, and then they're going to be even more important, because as people learn how to use the internet, as internet becomes an integral part of our lives, people will start to find things more easily, right? They would want to find things more easily, and you would want to make sure that your brand has the proper findability, if you so will, to make sure that your brand can be searched, your brand can be found, and obviously on the top of the search engine's result page, right? So that is something that's going to be trending. Search engine optimization is not going away. It's going to be here for quite a while, and make sure that you make the best out of it. And then another thing that's going to be defining the future of digital marketing is data analytics. So data analytics, when we say data analytics, we mean not just sales reports or not just target goals, but also we mean market research and also consumer behavior, right? So companies will start to actually analyze a lot of data. So any company you think of is actually, or not any company you think of, but any successful company you think of is actually leveraging data right now. So if you talk about Tesla, although they do have their self-driving cars, the technology that drives the self-driving car is, of course, data analytics, right? So data analytics is going to be a rather important function a company does. So every company would want to make sure that they analyze the data properly, they record the data properly, and they make sense of that data, because data is going to be a very important factor in deciding the success of the company. And then the buzzword for like 2022 and the years to come is obviously artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is going to be a major key game changer. And then even small and medium enterprises will start to find ways to actually leverage it. And we are already using it even without knowing it, even right now. Like this whole recommendation thing, the way you found this video on the internet right now, or people that are going to find it in the coming days, obviously a lot of that will be driven by artificial intelligence. And this is just the beginning. We are still exploring like how to make the use of it. And then as time passes by, obviously we'll have more artificial intelligence driving our day-to-day lives, and obviously, of course, even digital marketing as well. So when we talk about artificial intelligence in digital marketing, it's not just going to be like a video recommendation or like your Netflix suggestion, but then it's going to be even related to digital marketing in a sense that you can actually have personalized ads coming through your feed. And in fact, even now we have artificial intelligence serving most of the ads. So the ads that you see, the recommendation, or the preferences that you set are analyzed by the artificial engine or artificial intelligence, and machine learning is utilized in order to make sure that the ads are relevant and are reaching the right people. And when we talk about personalization of ads, it doesn't just mean the different creatives that are going to be used. It also means the relevancy to the person that it sees the ads. So the idea is to make sure that the ads are not disturbing, right? So people usually are on the internet to see the things that they are interested in. So you don't want to be the interruption in between their interests, right? What you want to be doing is you want to be the thing that they are interested in. The ads that are shown to them should be interesting enough so that people don't drop off, right? So that is something that is going to be happening quite a lot. And ads are going to be more intelligent, and more artificial intelligence is going to be poured into it. A lot of data is going to be poured into it, and whatever we're talking about right now, all of that will come together to actually create an engaging experience for the end user so that everyone is happy, including marketers, including the advertisers, and including the publishers. So that is going to be something that companies are going to try to achieve in the coming years. And this is a sample of personalization. So imagine seeing an ad that has been created just for you. So including your name or your preferences. So this kind of thing can be quite common in the coming days as more and more data gets fed into the system, and more data the system acquires, the more it learns about you, your preferences, your choices, and that is how it can customize the ads to your preferences. So that is something that you might be seeing in the coming years to come. So this is another sample of a personalized ad. Here you can see someone is getting free sushi, someone is getting free dim sum. So it depends on their preferences, right? So whatever someone is interested in, that is something that they might actually get. So this is something that we might be seeing in the coming days of the future of digital marketing. And then as wearables are getting more and more popular, right? So people are more into wearables, and then they are buying wearables. Wearables are being sold every day, and more research is being poured into it. So you might actually even see a custom billboard like this, where people can actually see different ads. So different people may be able to see different ads. So this is again just a hypothesis, and it might not even come true. But then we are really close to achieving this, where let's say if you're wearing a smart glass or Google Glass that is like discontinued now, but then a heads-up display can actually allow us to have personalized ads even on billboards. So even billboard ads could be relevant to like anyone. And then AR is something, a buzzword that has been around for like the past few years. And then this is again coming to a reality as phone processors grow more powerful, as cameras become more capable, and as internet speed gradually improves. So AR is going to be something that is going to have a huge impact on the digital marketing sphere, as even like metaverse is a buzzword right now, and this is here to stay, and most likely we will be seeing a lot of different implementations of AR. As AR technology gets more and more accessible, we will obviously see its uses in digital marketing as well. We already have been seeing it, but then in the coming years this is going to be more prevalent and more easy for everybody to access and to actually utilize it in terms of advertising. And this is something that's already there. This is where people can try out different glasses. They can use different AR features to actually test out different products. So this is already there. This is not something new, but then we'll have this more in the coming days. All right. And obsolete technologies such as newspapers are going to have to improvise. They're going to have to change the way that they are presenting information by utilizing something new platforms or new engaging materials for the users, because slowly the media is dying. The media, as in the media that sells printed formats. And so they'll have to have a digital supplement or at least some kind of exclusive content in order to survive. So we can actually see this happening already, and this is going to grow more in the coming days. And since the print media controls much of the advertising industry, including even the television media, right? So those kind of traditional medias, they do have a lot of capital, so they'll be probably investing more on technology to actually make the actually make the best out of this revolution that we are in the middle of. And finally, voice search is going to be rather important in the coming days, because as ease of access is something that anyone would actually love to have, and then people are increasingly using voice search to go through different kind of contents that they want. They are going through Google voice search, or even for YouTube video searches using voice. So voice search is going to be something that is going to make a major disruption in the digital marketing sphere, and you would want to make sure that your brand is represented properly in the voice search domain as well, because people are increasingly using their smart assistants to make different day-to-day tasks, and you would want to make sure that your brand is represented properly. You would want to make sure that your brand name is clear and loud. What you do is clear and loud to every audience that you have, so that when they ask for something, they ask for your name, your brand name, and not just for a generic item. So that is something you would want to look into. And this is something that we'll be seeing in the coming days of the digital marketing future as well. So as home assistants are growing really popular, as they're being like a secondary device almost for everybody. So these kind of devices such as Echo Dot or Google Home, or anyone else has one? I think Samsung has one as well. So everyone is coming up with a new device, and that is going to be something that you might want to look into if you want to like be a player in this new game that we're playing called digital marketing in the future. So that is something. And finally, like we talked about earlier, we talked about multi-channel marketing. So multi-channel is kind of an old approach. So what we'll have is integrated marketing, where all the marketing messages are going to be similar across different platforms. So as we talked about earlier, like users can find different channels to actually communicate with the brand, but then the brand would want to make sure that it is consistent throughout all its channels. So you'll have something that allows the brands to actually manage all of their accounts in one place, things such as Hootsuite or other kind of platforms that allow people to integrate their marketing efforts into one place, and then so that they can have a similar voice, they can have control over the different platforms. So that is something that we might be seeing in the coming days. So not just multi-channel, but we'll also have omni-channel marketing, where all the different channels kind of come together, and the basic idea is to make sure that the user feels at ease, the user is easily accessible to the brand, and the brand is easily accessible to the user. So that is going to be what's happening. And already we have like after Web 2.0, we have a dual channel communication where the brand can reach out to the people or their customers, and the customers can reach out to the brand. So this is going to be further enhanced with this new kind of engagement or new kind of engaging platforms that we're having. So this is going to be something that is going to stay here for the future as well. And again, this is the same thing, right? So you have single channel, multi-channel, cross-channel, and omni-channel. So this is how the brands will be evolving, and you can see different approaches for reaching out to the customer. But then during the omni-channel, or even during cross-channel, or during like different approaches, you will always have a two-way approach where the customer can reach out to the brand as well, so that there is a connection, right? So you want to make sure that your brand is engaging, your brand is memorable. So all of that will be there. But again, the basic idea is that wherever the customer feels at ease, there the brands should be available. And then all of that will actually be boiled down to a single platform or some kind of strategy machine that will allow users to, or brands to, make sense of the user data, and all of that can actually be analyzed to make new decisions, to make new marketing campaigns, and to cater more useful information to the customers. So that is what brands will be after, and we'll be seeing that happening. We already have been seeing that happening, but then this is going to be something that is going to be accessible even to small and medium enterprises. There's no need for like a multi-billion-dollar company investment, although that is something that will still be there. But then this is basically power to the people, right? So technology will level the playing field where unless there's some radical policy going on, technology can actually assist even small and medium enterprises compete with their bigger counterparts. And the basic idea is that as technology grows, as things get new, as we get new advancements of technology, we want to make sure that our brand is updated, right? So new things will come up, like there was this Clubhouse, if you remember. So many brands actually made a profit out of that, or actually they were able to utilize that platform to their advantage. So we'll have different platforms coming up again, we'll have different technology, we'll have different formats, and brands will want to make sure that they make the most out of it. But then again, another thing that we would want to keep in mind is where the customer is at. So as a brand, we might have different approach to how we do things, but then the customer could be stuck. Customer may not be on the same level of evolution of technology that we are in. So we would want to make sure, or brands would want to make sure that wherever the customers are, there they are available. So if a customer doesn't have SMS capabilities, then maybe you would want to make sure that you have a phone number that's ready for the customer to ring into. So this is something that will also be very important in considering the future of digital technology. As digital technology or digital marketing evolves, we would want to make sure that we have backwards compatibility, right? So even though a customer may not have a phone that runs our app, then maybe we'd want to make sure that we have a web app, or maybe we'd want to make sure that we have a landline number that the customer can call into, so that we don't miss the opportunity. So that is something that brands might want to look into in the coming days as well. And different formats will be there. So as technology advances, as things are changing, moving really fast, we'd want to make sure that our brand is represented well in all, or at least relevant platforms to us that are available. So this is something that many brands will be wanting to make sure they make use of. So yeah, so that's that. And finally, we'll be talking about a few resources for you that you can go through, because even though you might be a management student, or you might be even engineering student, or whatever you do, digital marketing is going to be a rather important skill, not just for brands, but then since a person is itself a brand, right? So in order to make sure that you represent yourself properly, or you represent your company properly. And in fact, digital marketing is a skill that is quite handy for any company or any workplace that you might want to go into. So we'll look at a few resources that are freely and easily available for you to go through. But before that, there's something I would want to talk about, which is the context and regarding the temperament of the brand. So we're at this stage where things are happening really fast, and the flow of information is such that it's difficult to make sense of what's going on. But then the way the brand represents itself, like what it stands for, what it represents, how it reacts to certain things, global happenings, to injustice, to social status, how it treats other people. So these are also going to be something that is going to be rather important in the coming days as the global community grows more and more together in a way, right? So although we say that the earth has come together, we have different communities available to us, but then we are also fragmented in so many ways, more than before. Polarization is also a thing that has been going on. But then what I'm trying to say is the way the brand represents itself, the way the brand talks about certain happenings, the way the brand stands for or stands against something. So this is also going to be something rather important in the coming days as well, because things are quite different now than they were before, right? So that's that, and let's move on with our learning resources. So we'll take a look at a few learning resources, but before that, actually what I wanted to say is we have this one website where you can go through, and this is in fact the slides that I'm showing you right now is a part 10 of a 10-part learning resource. So this is the part 10, which is a closing session. So you can actually go through the rest of the sessions on the website, which is shown in the link below. Let me just flash it for you again. So yeah, this is the link. So you can go there and then you can learn more. There you would have 10 hours of video there, including this one. So all right. So let's talk a little bit about other resources that are available to you. So one is Google's Digital Garage. So if you look for Google Digital Garage, you should be able to find it. And it also provides free trainings along with a certificate. So this might be very handy in terms of learning, and as well as for your CV as well. So a Google certified CV could be really impressive to have. And another one is the official tutorials for Facebook marketing by Facebook, which is known as Facebook Blueprint. So here also you can have a certification, but then to become a certified Facebook market expert, you'll have to take a test, and which costs money. But then in order to learn, it's free. So you can go to Facebook Blueprint, and then you can learn, and yeah, you can have a certificate as well in this case too. So this is the Facebook what is this, Digital Marketing Associate certificate. So you can have this as well if you take the test. So this is Facebook Blueprint. And there is also resources by Facebook known as Digital Training Hub and Startup Training Hub. So these are two different kind of resources. So this is basically for India, but then things are almost the same here as well. So we can make use of that too. You can use that to learn more about digital marketing and how to do certain things, how to make a, say, business model canvas. So those kind of things you can learn there. And finally, there's this Hopspot Academy. So Hopspot Academy teaches you inbound marketing. So basically the idea is that there are a lot of resources, and on YouTube you will find a lot of resources. You'll find a lot of resources elsewhere on the web as well. There are different blogs, there are different people that do talk a lot about marketing, and they're industry leaders. So you don't have to actually sit back and think in terms of like a degree or an official academic qualification. But then the thing is that digital marketing is here to stay, right? So more than ever, digital marketing's relevancy has grown, and companies will want to have people that have at least some knowledge of digital marketing. So whatever you're doing, whatever you're into, digital marketing skills will be something that you would want to have, and it would be a plus point under any circumstances, or whatever that you're trying to do. So that is some skill that you would want to add to your list of skills. And so yeah, that's basically it. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me, you can comment here. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So thank you for being here. We have 3 viewers watching us right now. I would like to thank you all. And if you have any questions, you can obviously reach out to me, and then we can discuss it together. If you have a business, I can help you, or my company, Gurkha Technology, can help you to make the most out of whatever the technology sphere has to offer to businesses. And yeah, so let's start today. All right, so good night.